Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start with congratulations for the Technical University of Delft, as they had, I think, their 5th victory in the World Solar Challenge. And I read on Twitter someone who said that is an extraordinary achievement for a solarly challenged country like the Netherlands. So congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to this European Interreg conference about e-mobility in Haarlem. And welcome to the Philharmonie on behalf of the province of Noord-Holland, the Amsterdam metropolitan area, and the partners of the Interreg North Sea Region program. I am delighted that you are here and honored to be able to address you, an international group of e-mobility experts. During this e-mobility event week, we have come together to learn from each other and to share our experiences in the introduction of electric mobility. In my opinion, the fact that we are doing this is extremely important. It is important for several reasons, and I'd like to discuss 3 of those reasons in more detail, because they are strongly linked with the European program and with this conference. But first, let's talk about predictions. It is difficult to forecast the weather, let alone the future. Yet politicians, entrepreneurs and policymakers have to think about the future. A few years ago, those who supported the idea of electric vehicles were used to receiving skeptical reactions. However, we weren't discouraged, and rightly so. I would like to remember a few statements. In 1943, Thomas Watson, chairman of IBM, said, "I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers." In 1962, Decca Music said, "We don't like their music, and guitar music is on the way out." And they were referring to the Beatles. In 1977, Ken Olsen, president, chairman and founder of Digital Equipment Corporation, said, "There is no reason for any individual to have a computer in his home." And in 2004, Bill Gates of Microsoft said, "Spam will be a thing of the past in 2 years' time." And about Google, he said, "These Google guys, they want to be billionaires and rock stars and go to conferences and all that. Let's see if they still want to run the business in 2 or 3 years' time." So be careful with predictions. Back to the importance of thinking about electric mobility. To start with, the air we breathe. It seems so easy that we take it for granted and do it without thinking. Just take a deep breath when necessary, when walking, cycling, or relaxing. Meanwhile, the quality of that air is important for our health and the quality of our lives. The European Communion thinks so too. That is why we have European legislation that has consequences for housing development projects. It all comes down to the fact that if our air quality doesn't improve, new building projects will be banned. This prevents us from housing the people who are moving to the Amsterdam metropolitan area, for example, because of their jobs. A nuisance for them, but this will also have a negative impact on the international competitiveness of the region, on the construction business, or more in general, on our economy. As you may know, 2013 is the Year of Air in the European Union. We recently organized the Day of Air as part of this European initiative to improve air. It's the Joachim Project, and you'll find more information about it in the foyer. On that day, the 30th of May, it also became crystal clear that electric vehicles are one of the possible solutions to solving the air quality problems in our cities and urban areas. And, ladies and gentlemen, there is a huge need for electric vehicles. In most developed countries, 30 to 40% of emissions of carbon dioxide and fine particles can be attributed to transport. Transport is by far the biggest cause of problems with our air quality. Now for my second point. Before long, there will be 1 billion cars in the world, with most of them running on petrol. The question is, How long can we keep this up? If oil prices rise, countries like the Netherlands and regions like Amsterdam, the Amsterdam metropolitan area and the port of Rotterdam will have problems with meeting the growing costs of transport. Take the export of flowers and flower bulbs, for example. These are auctioned off not far from here in Aalsmeer and flown from Schiphol Airport all over the world. Or what about the gigantic numbers of containers that are transported from the port of Rotterdam onward into Europe? Our dependence on oil is becoming increasingly expensive for the transport industry. My third point is the global economic crisis, which is also affecting Europe. These are times when jobs and sustainable employment are important. Electric mobility could play a key part in this. A new and cleaner form of transport can create new jobs. Recent studies have proved this. There is a great potential. Worldwide, employment in and around e-mobility can rise to a worth of over $100 billion in 2020. Recent investments in the Netherlands by companies like Tesla and Zero Motorcycles, for example, are important for opening up this potential new market. Obviously, we'd like to see other investors following suit and thus demonstrating that cleaner transport and creating employment can go hand in hand. So the question is, what do we need to do to tackle these problems and exploit our economic opportunities? And what did we already do in the Netherlands, and more specifically in the province of North Holland and in the Amsterdam metropolitan area? To start with, in its policy program, the province of North Holland has presented its ambition to improve the accessibility of our towns and regions and to help our population make optimal use of sustainable transport. In that respect, we want to promote innovation in sectors like sustainable energy, transport, and regional economic development. Amsterdam has invested considerably in charging points in the city and supports businesses wishing to invest in e-mobility. Examples are the electric cabs and programs aimed at carpooling. As the provincial government, we also study the administrative aspects of the approaching transition to sustainable mobility. Together with the MRA, the Amsterdam metropolitan area, we stimulate e-mobility in the metropolitan area. We currently have 10,000 electric cars in the Netherlands, and in the next few months, this number will double. This increases the pressure for charging points in the municipalities. But how can you install public charging points if you can't yet manage them profitably? Our MRA electric project proposed a solution for introducing more charging points, thus reducing range anxiety and increasing the number of electric vehicles on our roads. MRA Electric organizes the tender, the installation of charging stations, and the funding. We ensured that the municipalities, the cities, provinces, the government, and market parties joined forces. This is the first time that governments and market parties, such as lease companies, have united to provide new charging points through joint funding. That makes it easier and affordable for municipal councils to install charging points and thus help boost the number of electric cars. Last summer, we installed 1,000 extra roadside charging points in the Amsterdam metropolitan area. This model can also be applied in other regions, and it is receiving much attention from elsewhere. As a result of this approach, there will soon be around 6,000 charging points in the Netherlands, the biggest number anywhere in the world. With the introduction of electric vehicles, we are mainly focusing on high-mileage vehicles that can produce relatively high emissions, such as cabs, freight and commercial vehicles. Introducing one electric cab is the same as trading in 35 ordinary cars for electric ones. MRA Electric is therefore working together with cab companies, among others, to promote electric cars in the region. As a province and as a region, we have become partners in big transnational e-mobility initiatives like the European Interreg program and the Transatlantic Coast-to-Coast program. As a result, we have entered into new alliances, accumulated valuable experiences, and acquired a lot of information, and we are now starting to attract investors. it is a development that I am very, very proud of. It's clear that these new investments are only feasible by combining successful enterprise and government investments. Let me mention some of the successes. This year, Tesla built its assembly factory in the Dutch province of Brabant. As the base for its European head office, it chose Amsterdam, where they will also open a flagship store. Another example, Daimler-Benz launched its Car2Go project in Amsterdam. This is a fully electric fleet, and Zero Motorcycles has continued to expand, and from its head office in Alkmaar, in the north of Noord-Holland, the company is now moving further into the European market. Finally, on the tiny island of Schiermonnikoog, in the north of the Netherlands, all the public transport buses are electric. In the rest of the country, transport companies are planning to introduce more electric vehicles too, supported by PROV, the initiator of inductive charging of electric vehicles. Ladies and gentlemen, I've told you that even the greatest man on earth can't predict the future. Neither can we. However, we do have well-founded expectations. And if these point in a certain direction, then it's our duty to act accordingly. It is therefore crucial to share experiences and knowledge, insights, and particularly successes and best practices. By doing that, we can help promote e-mobility, resulting in cleaner air, less dependence on oil, and new jobs. This conference is all about that: policy, practice, and profitability. I hope you will all enjoy your day here and gain inspiration from sharing this knowledge. Thank you very much.